What is up, besties? It is your girl, the Karmic DF, back to you again with another video. And this time, I'm going to be real with y'all. Your girl is sick in bed today. So that is why we got this background here, because this is my bed. I'm not going to lie. Because I figured y'all would want the tea for Thanksgiving. Also, yeah. It's going to be a little ghetto today, y'all. Lo siento. I'm trying my best, but I figured you guys would want to know the origin of Thanksgiving. Spirit's popping in right away to say that regardless of what we get in this, today Thanksgiving is celebrated in the sense of coming together of family, and we should still cherish that because we live in a society where we're always stressed out. And so if we can find joy in any way possible, I think we should honor that. That does not negate that if anyone, you know, the stories, the background behind this, that's pretty awful. I just feel like Spirit's saying, like, I'm hearing white guilt. And listen, we should acknowledge real fucking history. But at the same time, if you're really just coming together to spend time with your family, Spirit's saying don't feel guilt about that. Just be educated is kind of the vibe I'm already getting. So I did like I don't know, 30-second, like I watched a couple of clips of like YouTube reels that said the dark side. I listened to the people that are ignoring allegedly what could have happened. So I want to know what the real origin of Thanksgiving is. All alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts here. I'm sure white people have never stolen land before. LOL. And I'm not roasting white people. I'm obviously a mix myself. But yeah, so I don't know what we're going to get from this. Thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. I'm sorry that this isn't the regular setup, but I'm just, y'all, I recorded Wednesday and Friday's video on Tuesday because I'm just sick. So without further ado, thank you to everybody that is here. Let me know if you guys enjoy this, even if you just leave like a little emoji or something, because that way more people will be able to see it. But I want to get right into it. What is the origin of Thanksgiving? Let's find out. All right. I don't know why, but I'm hearing the song Don't Stop Believing. So I think, again, that draws me more to, like, regardless of what we might get in this information, if your intention is just to bond and eat with your family, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I just keep hearing that because I have a bad feeling we might get some bad news, obviously. And then I just feel like a lot of white people are going to be like, oh, now I feel like a piece of shit. But just find ways to, like, you know, honor what they've been through. Have empathy. But at the same time, you're really just getting together to eat food. Like, in Spirit's energy, it's like, it's not like you're sitting there going, fuck yeah, people are dead. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that vibe. So, all alleged and for tempers, only zero facts here. What is the origin of Thanksgiving, Spirit team, and what do we need to know about it? All right. I also apologize if the cards end up ghetto. Again, lo siento, mi amor. I'm trying. I'm so sorry. Where are my tarot readers? The Seven of Swords, son of a bitch. We're off to a good start. No wonder I felt the need to give a PSA of like, don't feel bad, but also just be aware. Okay. I did see a reel, something about like, I don't know. Was this like Christopher Columbus? Forgive me. I fell asleep in most of history class. It was all bullshit to me personally. Not all of it, you know what I mean? But there's something here about like, yeah, because I'm being drawn to the movie where it's like, I'm not turtly enough for the turtle club. I feel like the indigenous people were not invited to whatever the hell this was. So I'm just starting with that right away. It feels like indigenous land, and it feels like I'm not invited into it. I have this new opportunity. I wonder if this is when they were taking land from, forgive me, I don't read I mean, I have my own interest, you know what I mean? Wands, interesting. Six of Swords. Vulnerability, son of a bitch. Was this, okay, what's the rumor that white people took the land and then celebrated that? That kind of lines up. Spirit, tap me in. Why is Queen of Wands with the Six of Swords? Did they use women? I almost wonder if they used women to do their bidding. I know this sounds so weird, and I feel like I've never heard this anywhere, so even I'm like, wait, what? But it almost kind of feels like they used women to do their bidding. You know how, like, women are more sensitive, more empathic, so... Yeah, because it's giving me J-Lo energy when I touch this card. I almost wonder if... Is there any rumors that, like, a leader had a wife and the wife was kind of like the go-between? Because that's what it kind of feels like to me. They're drawing me to things like First Lady and stuff like that. It's like... I feel like there was a woman that... I need to pull more before I say that. There's something to do with a woman here. Vulnerability. Using our vulnerabilities against us to transition into a period that will be more fruitful for us. But it's giving, like, the white man. That's the vibe here so far. Emotional maturity. Wands. Ace of Pentacles. Were they fighting over land? That's how this reads. It reads like they were fighting over land. Like, you know what I'm being drawn to is the movie Avatar. Makes me cry every fucking time. Where the guy is like, I see gold underneath that tree, and it destroys the fucking land. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting here. It's like, I think there was a war for land. Yeah, because I'm hearing, like, we ride at dawn, and I'm being drawn to, like, Monty Python, where they, I love that movie. I'm so glad I had an ex force me to watch that movie, because it's hilarious. But, you know, the giant, oh, Jesus, see, I told y'all this isn't going to be that best. The giant horse, I'm so sorry, forgive me, I'm channeling, I can't think, where they, like, hid people in it. I feel like this was, like, a sneak attack to, like, steal the land. Is this what you guys have been hearing? Because I'm also being drawn to, like, the greenery here. So, like, was the land fruitful, bearing? Because I almost wonder if, like... Oh, maybe the women were... Because you know what I'm hearing is Switzerland. So I almost wonder if the women were none the wiser. But I'm getting it from, like, the white people side, not the indigenous people. So I feel like there might have been a woman in... Not in power, but, like, married to someone in power, or, you know, dating someone in power, whatever, how that works back then, back in the 1600s, that probably had a conversation with whoever was running at the time that was like, why do we have to do it this way? Like, there's children involved, because I'm being drawn to the kid. I do feel like there was a tug and pull for land and a quiet war that they didn't see coming with that Five of Wands in reverse. It's just, when I touch this Knight of Cups, it's giving me we ride at dawn. So... I do think this was a play for land, I'm going to be honest. Ten of Swords, people getting imprisoned. Is there a rumor that they imprisoned people that were indigenous? Because that tracks. King of Pentacles, it was all for money and status. Definitely status in particular. I'm sorry for the glare, y'all. I'm doing the best I can. I'm sick in bed. Bear with me here. Page of Swords, it's like I have an idea. And now I'm hearing Maroon 5, I have a secret. Can you keep it? So... I'm going to be honest, y'all. I do think that this was a play for land that hurt a lot of people. I see people that are indigenous getting, you know how they show scenes in movies where there's people that are in chains? I'm being drawn to the movie Life, if you've ever seen it, with Martin Lawrence, where it's like they're in chains and they're following one another. I really think it was that tragic. I'm going to be honest. I think it was a fight for dominance at this point in time. I don't know who was running the show, but I do feel like with all of these aces here, I feel like the white man was coming for the indigenous people. I don't think it, if it helps, I don't think it does, but it might. This doesn't feel to me like a race thing. Like I'm in the energy, not the energy I want to be in today, but they're putting me in the energy of the white man, and it's like, I don't see your color. I see your fruitful land, and I want it. It's a selfish. Yeah, I'm hearing that song, Ariana. I see it. I like it. I want it. I got it. Like, that's the vibe. So one thing I will say, this isn't a racist thing. I don't care what anybody says. You could yell at me until you're blue in the face. This was a power move. This was a, I want shit because that's just what it is. So while it is fucked up, I got to point out that it wasn't a race thing. It was a, like, I keep hearing things like plantation, bearing crops, stuff like that. So were the indigenous people on, like, very fertile land? I almost wonder if they cursed the land, because I keep seeing something about a curse. Did they curse the land on the way out? Because it's drawing me to that rock that broke recently, and everybody's terrified because apparently, like, that rock was cursed. If you know what I'm talking about, please put that in the comments. But it's kind of giving me that vibe. I think the indigenous people might have cursed the land. But I don't feel like it was a coming together of people. I think they stormed in. What was that? Stormed in like, I don't know that word. I did not pay attention in history class, y'all. I'm so sorry. I learned history after high school watching the History Channel and other shit. So forgive me. But it was like, I have an idea. I'm keeping it hush hush. I see a lot of opportunity in this land and I want it for myself. That's the vibe so far. Yeah, fuck. I think that's why Spirit was really adamant on the PSA, because what we're doing today has nothing to do with what happened in the past. Right now it's about family and connection. So while we should be aware of how this started, I keep being drawn to how there's like a rise in white guilt. And like, listen, obviously white people did bad shit in the past. But if you are intentional with how you move, and if you listen to people and you hold space for them and you hear their cries, and then you're not a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, you're not at fault if, God forbid, your 15th great grandfather did this. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why Spirit felt so adamant on me doing this reading today, because it was an ego thing. And it broke a lot of hearts, because it's just reminding me so much of Avatar. If you've ever seen Avatar, it's the white man and there's all these blue people, which if you're a Starseed, you might resonate with that movie. And it's like, it wasn't about race for them. It was about, you have fertile land and I want it. It's giving that same type of energy. King of Wands, an ineffective leader. Yeah, I think whoever was running the show at the time, maybe you guys know who it is. I don't fucking know. Could it be Christopher Columbus? Maybe they're giving me that name to remind me of people that were, was it Christopher? I don't fucking know. I remember that people used to love him and now they canceled him. So it's kind of giving me that same vibe. Christopher Columbus energy. Again, I'm so sorry that this is not perfect. My Virgo stellio. My Virgo stellium's twitching right now. Anyway, yeah, there was a bad leader who was all about his pride and all about making a name for himself. Shocking. This never changes in history. Yeah, because I'm hearing those that don't know history are doomed to repeat it. But one thing I feel the need to keep saying, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says, this was not a race thing. This was not like, oh, you have brown skin, I hate you. This was, you have land I want, and instead of me, trying to work together with you, it's giving, we ride at dawn. Like, it feels very, they had a plan, no one saw it coming. Yeah, the devil card. An exposure. Yeah, I feel like this was like a war or something. This feels more like a war than anything else. Honestly, the words that keep coming in my head right now are, we ride at dawn. Like, that's the vibe. I feel like whoever the leader was at the time had an ego the size of a fucking, I don't know, air balloon. I don't know why it popped in my head. Whoever this was, I think there was a lot of bloodshed. I think a lot of people died. It was definitely a war, and I feel like it was a sneak attack. I feel like the indigenous people didn't see it coming. Like, it is kind of heartbreaking, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, this one's rough. Yeah, it's like starting a new beginning at the backs of somebody else. Yeah, it's like we won, but at what cost? I will say something, because I'm being zoomed out. If you believe in reincarnation and all that stuff, whoever did this in the past, I feel like when they passed away, they did have to acknowledge what they did wrong, and I wouldn't be shocked if they reincarnated to right wrongs, if you believe in that stuff. If not, just throw it away, that's fine. But I am seeing something about, like, penance. I just heard the word penance. So whoever did this shit, I feel like, you know how they say, like, they make jokes where it's like, oh, you're such a bad person, you're gonna, like, reincarnate as a cockroach. Like, it's kind of giving me that vibe. I don't think they all, like, reincarnated as a cockroach, but I do think that they did have to, on a soul level, pay for what they did, if that helps at all. But this was all about a money grab for land. Yep, power. This is why in every reading we do, it's like we need to learn about history because it keeps repeating itself. But in our history classes, we weren't even learning about history, so... is what it is. And then with the Two of Swords there, it's giving me like there's not enough room for the both of us. Were they like travelers or something? Like the white people at the time, were they not like, were they people that were out to sea? Were they trying to find a land of their own and they stole it? Because it's giving me like, this place will do. And then they find out someone lives there and it's like, well, that's not going to work because I need to be in power. Like, it's just very selfish. It's giving me CEO of a company, but back in the day. You know what I mean? Page of Wands is like, we can bear fruit here. That's the vibe. Yeah, this does not pass the vibe check for me, y'all. So what I want to do is, okay, so the Thanksgiving celebration itself, Spirit Team, how did that come to be? You know, the getting together for food and shit like that. How did that happen? Oh my God. Is this all to do with a man trying to prove himself to a woman? Is that why the Queen of Wands came out? Y'all, I really think this had to do with some up-and-coming, quote-unquote, leader trying to prove that he was a big bad to get the woman he wanted. This was like an opportunity. And with that Nine of Cups, I don't even think it worked out in his benefit. Yeah, the Four of Cups. It's like this wasn't even... Yeah, this is fucked up. Sorry. One thing I will say to anyone to make it feel better. I think whoever this person was, you guys might know exactly who I'm talking about. I have no fucking idea. Is it Christopher Columbus? I don't know. Whoever this was, they didn't get what they want. It didn't bear fruit. I almost wonder if the land failed them, because I've heard this before where, like, people that are really, you know, at one with Mother Nature, they can curse the land and the land won't bear fruit. I've heard of that before. And with that Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like whatever this man did, it haunted him for the rest of his days. Because notice this old man here. It haunted him for the rest of his days. He got his karma. And with that Ten of Pentacles, I feel like there was a fall. Again, I don't know what history actually tells us. So forgive me if this is not what they're saying. But I feel like karma got him in that lifetime. Because I feel like whatever he did, it didn't work out. I feel like either the people turned on him, or maybe some of the indigenous people fought back, but there's something where, like, it all fell apart. It didn't last forever. It wasn't like Yahtzee got it. Like, whoever this guy in particular was that led it, he got his karma in that lifetime. Yeah, regrets. And this also reminds me of swords and fighting. Okay, forgive me again. Don't know a lot about history. Did whoever this was go on to have a kid? Because I almost wonder if the leader had a child who then felt like it was their duty to right the wrongs. This almost feels like, you know what it's reminding me of? Oh my God. If you've ever seen Riverdale, I'm watching it for the first time, by the way, as a 30-year-old, this show is driving me nuts. The amount of times I'm like, where the fuck are your parents? Where is child services? But anyway, this feels to me like, if you've ever seen Riverdale, there's a father, Hiram Lodge, and he is a big bad. Like, all he cares about is money and drug selling and just being on a top. And his daughter does everything she can to fight against him because she cares about the people around her. It's giving that same energy. So I almost wonder if karma got him because he had a kid who realized that that wasn't the right thing to do and tried to, like, make amends or make things right. Because I just keep being drawn to, like, you know how they say, like, the sins of our fathers? I just heard that in my head, the sins of our fathers. I feel like whoever the child was went on to right wrongs. I think that's why Spirit's saying, like, don't beat yourself up because karma back then already evened the scale somehow. Yeah, this is a family member. I'm fucking telling you. It's like, look at how there's children, right? It's like, this reminded me of Pink's song, Family Portrait. I think this guy thought, if I ravish this land, I get everything. I get this level of power. The woman I want will love me. We'll have kids. We'll have our happily ever after. And I feel like the kid was not on his side. This is giving me like the Page of Cups is all about emotion. And it's like the regrets. It's like the sins of our fathers, what I keep hearing. Five of Swords. I don't know if... I'm just going to stop saying I don't know if history told you this because, frankly, how many times have we been lied to? I almost wonder if there was another battle for peace after the fact. Like, almost like the... Because what I'm seeing is, like, age progression of a little child that's a girl turning into a woman. And it's giving, like, Martin Luther King Jr. vibes. So I feel like whoever his child was went on to undo the damage. It's giving me... Yeah, I'm hearing, like, peace treaty and shit like that. Remember, this was the 1600s, so all of this could have been wiped away. Because remember, we've done many readings where they've, you know, burned books and shit. But there's something of like a second war. But she's against the father. I don't know if she... Oh my God, I just heard... what is it? Oh my God. Et tu, brute? That's what I just heard. Did the daughter kill the father? Yeah, because now I'm hearing the Tupac song, they got money for wars but can't feed the poor. I think... See, this is why grand scale, even when we go through the most traumatic experiences, it teaches us, right? I see a daughter that hated what her father did. That, like, look at the little minx energy on her face. And look at how she's in armor, kind of. And it's like, this is pretending... This almost gives me the vibe of, like, pretending to be daddy's girl and then fighting back for the people. This is giving me, like, prophet energy. Like, I don't mean to piss off the religious people, but this gives me the same type of energy as Jesus. Like, when I've done the Bible readings, it's giving me that same vibe. And I'll try to remember to put it in the description box, but if you look up my name with Bible, you'll find it. I think she went on to wage a different type of war to bring back peace. This is actually really cool. I don't know that we'll ever know this with the star card in reverse. I don't know that I think it's already been wiped away from history, so I wouldn't be shocked if I'm saying shit and you're like, I've never heard this. Because there's something here about the daughter. Unless it's like a feminine boy. That's possible too. But I feel like a daughter really felt like it was her job to right wrongs. That's actually kind of beautiful. Okay, but spirit team, the meal itself, like, can we get into that? Okay, now we're moving on. This is actually a message from spirit. We need to be aware of the past, but we don't need to make... Okay, this is going to piss people off. I'm not saying this, okay? Just flip out in the comments, whatever, it is what it is. We don't need to make amends because in their energy, it's like, what you guys don't know about is that karma had already come back to get them. Because I'm being drawn to how this judgment card has all these graves. So I feel like whoever did the dirt, it's like you got a snake in the grass and it's the child. This shit's wild. I did not expect this today. But I'm also being drawn to Spirit's message, which was brought back in the beginning. Nowadays, it's about the family. Nowadays, it's about people coming together. So while we need to be aware of history and not, what I'm hearing is whitewash shit and pretend that bad things have never happened, we can't do that. We have to honor that that shit happened, but at the same time, death gripping an old situation and feeling guilt for something you didn't do is not going to serve you. And frankly, that's the root of disease, is a disharmony within the body. So as long as you're coming into Thanksgiving with like, I just want to be a part of my family, on Spirit's end, there's nothing wrong with that. I know I'm going to get people that are pissed off. I'm not, but what you guys are missing is that someone's daughter made amends on her own. And I feel like she led a war against him. It's reminding me of the show Lucifer on Netflix, highly recommend, where he went in battle to right wrongs. It's giving that energy. I think someone already righted the wrongs of what happened. So it's like, you guys don't need to feel bad about that. I mean, you need to be aware, you need to be educated, but to feel bad, I feel like the family fucked over the person who did it for them to begin with. This is wild. I didn't see this coming. Yeah, now it's about breaking bed. Breaking bed. Can you tell I'm tired and sick? Now it's about breaking bread. Now it's about family. Now it's about coming together. But there is just a notion of like, let's just acknowledge that, you know, people were harmed. This wasn't just a beautiful coming together. I don't see it coming together. I keep hearing we ride at dawn. I think they killed a lot of people. I'm going to be honest. But that being said, look at again, there's a father and a daughter. And it's reminding me of how sometimes when our parents tell us shit, it's like, that doesn't fit me. Like, for instance, I got a lot of 3D family members. I'm a psychic medium. So I feel like whoever his child was went on to right the wrongs. Like, I almost see her going to, like, I see her traveling and meeting people of different cultures and trying to understand so that she doesn't follow in his footsteps. It's actually really beautiful. And I think this is why Spirit's saying, like, while it is sad, let go of the guilt because the daughter took care of it. Unless it was a feminine son. That's the only other way I could see it. Pentacles. There is also a message here about how our government loves to find any excuse to make us overconsume. So that is coming out. I got to admit that with the Five of Pentacles. They love making us spend money. So that's why they've kind of flipped the narrative and left out the sad part, because the powers that be know that if we knew the truth, a lot of people would be like, I'm not celebrating this. But what I'm being drawn to is, if this really does bother you, and you have every right to feel that way, I'm being drawn to how people do things like Friendsgiving and stuff like that. So maybe just don't celebrate it on Thanksgiving Day. Maybe decide to do it on April when there's nothing going on. You know what I mean? If you are that hurt about it. But that being said, I do agree that there was some form of like ousting of people. It's just giving like there isn't enough room for the both of us. And so some people had to pay the price. But when I tell you, I feel like there was a daughter that flipped on the father, because it was like I'm seeing a little girl that's watching what her father's doing. She's not really fully understanding, but then she's growing and she's educating herself. And then she's like, wait a second, all of this death because of you? Like, that's kind of the vibe. It's like the kid grew up and was like, oh, fuck no. Like, this is not okay. Like, this is, I keep being drawn to like Et tu, Brute, and it's drawing me right back to that Ace of Swords. I almost wonder, allegedly, if this didn't happen, it's something close to it, where like the daughter might have killed the father in a war or something. Or like ousted him in some capacity. Like, there was karma that actually was, that did happen. I just don't feel like it's not in any books anywhere. Unless you know what I'm talking about, then maybe it is. But there's something, I can't get it out of my head. There's a daughter that flipped on the father. Which is why in Spirit's energy, it's like, as long as you're just meeting together to just really cherish the family, we don't see anything wrong with that. Like, that's the vibe. But what you should know is that it wasn't a beautiful coming together. And most importantly, it was not about race. It was a land grab. That's what it was. And it was an ousting of people because they couldn't fend for themselves. I feel like they didn't see it coming. It's almost like if like it was your neighbor and they smile at you and say hi from time to time and you don't think nothing of it, and then all of a sudden your neighbor robs your house. Like, that's kind of the vibe. It's like coming in at night and boom, like all your shit's gone. That's the vibe. They were snakes in the grass for sure. And people did get ravished. But that being said, I'm seeing a second war where the daughter fights back. It's giving me like the sequel to a movie. So I do feel like karma played out. All right, Spirit. Any final messages for people this Thanksgiving while they're meeting up with their family and all of that? I feel I need to pull differently. Hold on. I think there were books about this that were burned. Justice was served. What did I tell you guys? Justice has already been served. So if you guys are like, I mean, honor your guilt. That's fine. But at the end of the day, like, you didn't do it. And again, look at the kid, right? It's a girl. I feel like the daughter made justice. Yep, because she was exposed to what had happened. I almost wonder, because you know what I'm seeing is like, I'm seeing a man in a cave with like those little lantern lights, and I see him writing down what he did, like in like a diary. And I feel like the kid read the diary. And as she got older, she was like, wait a fucking second. Yeah, because I'm hearing Rihanna, and that's not fair. And so when she got wind of what was going on, she balanced the scales. This would be like the daughter went on to go like do, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God, where you like, you help people. I don't know, where you like go to Haiti and stuff like that. Like, that's the vibe. It's like the daughter went on to right the wrongs of the parent. And I feel like it had a lot to do with just land grab and impressing a woman, which then ended up destroying the family. I don't think there's much to say about the Thanksgiving feast itself, because I feel like it was just a regular feast. Like, yay, we won. Let's have a meal. Yeah, it's like now we don't have to fight for what we wanted because we already got it. Grief card. Queen of Swords. The daughter became a fighter. I'm telling you, Queen of Swords, the daughter became a fighter. She righted the wrongs to some capacity. Obviously, she couldn't undo death. You know what I mean? Because I'm being drawn to like concentration camps and stuff. But I just see a child being like, absolutely fucking not. This is wrong. And then she went on to become a fighter herself, but a fighter for the rights of all humans. So that's kind of a beautiful ending to an extent. You know what I mean? Back deck energy. 3 of Wands. It's an expansion of fucking land. It's a land grab. Tower card. And it fell apart in the end. That's one thing Spirit wants you to know. It didn't, like, yeah, maybe the white people got the land forever or something like that. But when I tell you whoever was the the father that was going after this, shit fell apart for him. I almost wonder if she, like, this feels like he had a daughter that ended up either killing him or went to war against him, because that's the vibe. I'm seeing like two opposing forces fighting a second war. I don't think this is in books, y'all. I'm going to be honest. If it is, I've never heard of it. Yeah, this is like someone in the family seeing things from a higher perspective. This isn't what you told me. You gave me an illusion with the Seven of Cups right there. And now I can't even sleep with myself. I'm being haunted by what you've done. And I can't move on. And so I've got to fight. So I do think someone fought back. I do think it was a child too. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here, besties, thekarmicdf.com. Please still enjoy your Thanksgiving. But if, you know, it bothers you that much, honor how you feel and do what you got to do. No judgment here on my end. Look at even the decks being difficult with me. And look at how she keeps popping out. I'm telling you, there was a child that went against whoever started this and was like, this is not right. This would be like, you know how narcissists and empath dynamics, there's always an empath born into a tumultuous family. And the whole goal is to basically like realize what's wrong so you can even the scales. I feel like it was an empathic child dealing with a narcissistic father and kind of a mom that was just kind of, it's giving me like whimsical and don't really give a fuck, just kind of doing what I gotta do. And I feel like the daughter felt like it was up to her to balance the scales, and so that's what she did. I don't know how that led to anything. And then notice Ace of Cups on the back of the deck, and I just picked it up sloppily, you know what I mean? I just, real quick, Spirit, one more time, real quick, what do we need to know about the feast itself? Like, what do you want us to know about the feast itself? Yeah, I feel like they had that meal after they ousted people. Yeah, it was like after a war or something. Yep. But that's not our story today. Like, I keep being zoomed out, and Spirit's like, are you celebrating that people are dead? Or are you just finding a reason to be with your family in a time where times are tough? Because if that's your motivation, intention's really all that matters. We should acknowledge what has happened, but to feel guilty about something that we're not even... It's not like we're sitting here recreating the event of death. You know what I mean? It's not like we're sitting here going, fuck yeah, people are dead. Like, that's not the vibe. It's like, as long as you're focusing on the family unit, up there at least, they don't see anything wrong with that. Because this Nine of Swords is very reminding me of, like, the ghosts of the past making us feel bad, when in reality, it's like you're not celebrating their demise, so don't beat yourself up. Because justice was served in its own way. I just keep being drawn to, like, white guilt. I'm not saying that, I'm not here to argue that, but I just keep being drawn to that. Anything else, Spirit, before I wrap it up? I almost wonder if this guy did it for the woman and he ended up losing her in the end. And then, like, this gives me the vibe of, like, your modern day divorce after the fact. Because I almost wonder if the daughter, it kind of feels like maybe the daughter kind of made, yeah, I'm hearing the word privy. I feel like the daughter made the wife at the time privy to what was going on, and she was like, fuck this, I'm out. So this man, what he did and what he did it for, he got his karma before he died. And that's not in the books, or you guys might know what I'm talking about, but I feel like there's, because I'm seeing books being burned, it's like people can never know about this. So there is some, you know, negativity to that, and the fact that they didn't want us to know people died. But yeah, I do feel like the feast was a result of them feeling like they won the land. But I feel like this man went on to lose his wife. I feel like his kid turned on him. And I feel like there was a second war orchestrated by that child. Page of Swords, telling you. Knight of Swords, I'm going to be the hero now. Yep. So, yeah. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this reading. thekarmicdf.com if you want to book a private reading. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but I'm going to leave it here and go back to bed. I hope that you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in my next video.